Stop treating English like a heavy backpack you only carry during study hours. If you've spent years drowning in complex grammar rules, yet still find your mind going completely blank during a simple chat, it's time to face the truth. You're trying to study a language that you should be inhabiting. Most learners fail because they view English as a hurdle to overcome. But genuine fluency is actually an unstoppable byproduct of your daily identity. Imagine if English wasn't an extra task on your to-do list, but the very rhythm of your life, as natural as checking your phone or breathing. In this video, we aren't offering quick fixes or 10-day miracles. We are constructing a system of tiny, powerful actions that transform your environment into a 24/7 immersion zone. We are shifting away from the student mindset and stepping into a global lifestyle where English is a tool, not a test. To ensure you stay consistent and continuously elevate your communication skills, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now. Let's turn your English goals into your daily reality together. By the end of this guide, you'll master the mindset shift needed to make English your second nature. Beginning with the first pillar, start your day in English. Think of your brain as a brand new canvas the moment you open your eyes, waiting for the first splash of color to define the rest of your day. This brings us to habit 1. Start your day in English. I want you to understand that those initial moments after waking up are sacred, because your mind is like a fresh, undisturbed space ready to be programmed. When we immediately pivot to English, even before the world intrudes, we are essentially signaling to our brains that this language is our primary reality rather than just a school subject. You don't need to deliver a complex speech. In simple sentences are exactly what you need to build that second nature instinct. For instance, as you're reaching for your morning coffee, you could say, "This smells amazing, and I'm going to make today very productive." Or perhaps, while looking out the window, think, "The weather looks perfect for a walk later." These small, intentional declarations bypass your inner critic and build fluency at a subconscious level. If speaking aloud feels a bit strange initially, I suggest keeping a small notepad by your bed to write down your first 5 thoughts in English. We aren't looking for grammatical perfection. We are hunting for that raw, emotional connection that makes the language part of your identity. By claiming those first few minutes, you aren't just practicing a language. You're deciding who you want to be before the world tells you otherwise. Have you ever felt the crushing frustration of knowing exactly what you want to say in your head, but finding your tongue feels like a heavy piece of lead when you try to speak? This happens because your ears haven't been soaked in the language enough, which leads us to habit 2. Keep English in your ears all day. Think about it. We are biologically designed to absorb sounds long before we ever produce them. If we look at how infants acquire their first language, they don't start with textbooks. They spend thousands of hours simply bathing in the ambient noise around them until the rhythm becomes a part of their subconscious. I want you to stop seeing listening as a study session and start seeing it as background oxygen. You can feed your subconscious while you're jogging through the park, standing in a long queue at the supermarket, or even while you're organizing your closet. Instead of the usual silence, fill that space with an English travel vlog or an interview with your favorite actor. By doing this, your brain begins to instinctively recognize the melody of the language, making real English feel less like a foreign code and more like a familiar friend. Let's get honest in the comments. What is the biggest frustration you feel when you try to listen to native speakers? Is it the terrifying speed, or the way the words just turn into a blur? Share your struggle below, so we can tackle it together. Your mouth can only replicate the music that your ears have truly mastered. What if I told you that the most wasted moments of your day are actually your secret weapon for becoming fluent? Many of us complain about a lack of time, but the truth is we all have pockets of space. Those mundane minutes spent doing laundry, standing in a long queue at the bank, or even hitting the treadmill at the gym. This is where you master habit 2. Keep English in your ears all day. By stacking English onto these existing routines, you turn your environment into a laboratory of learning without needing to clear a single extra hour on your schedule. Imagine listening to an English tech review while you're grocery shopping, or a short storytelling podcast while you're stuck in afternoon traffic. Suddenly, those frustrating delays become golden opportunities for growth. To truly accelerate this process and learn how to rewire your thinking, I highly recommend you also watch our specialized video titled Build Your English Mind right here on this channel, which provides the mental framework to support these listening habits. I'm challenging you right now. For the next 30 days, commit to at least 30 minutes of English audio every single day. Do not worry about grasping every single complex idiom or subtle nuance at first. Your brain is a natural pattern recognition machine that learns through consistent, low-pressure exposure. We aren't looking for academic perfection. We are looking for a total shift in your linguistic reality. Your transformation isn't hidden in a textbook. It's waiting for you in the gaps of your daily schedule. The most effective language partner you will ever find isn't hiding in a textbook or a paid subscription. They are already living inside your head. This constant internal dialogue is the ultimate key to unlocking natural speech, which leads us directly to habit 3. Talk to yourself in English. I want us to stop waiting for permission to speak and start claiming our own space by linking English to our physical actions. This technique, known as contextual learning, embeds the language into your muscle memory so it becomes a part of your behavior rather than just a memory. For example, as you're organizing your workspace, you could narrate, "I'm placing my laptop in the center and putting my notebook on the right side." Or, while choosing an outfit, tell yourself, "I think this blue shirt matches these pants perfectly for my meeting today." You aren't just practicing grammar here. You are literally reprogramming your brain to bypass the slow translation gap entirely. By vocalizing your private world, you turn every mundane task into a high-level training session that belongs only to you. Once you start speaking your reality out loud, you'll find that the invisible wall between thinking and talking simply begins to crumble. Take a look at your screen time right now and ask yourself, are those 4 or 5 hours a day helping you speak better? Or is it just a passive waste of your potential? We are living in a digital era where we spend more time interacting with glass screens than with physical people. which is why we must adopt habit 4. Change the language of your phone, apps, and digital life to English. I've noticed that most learners stay trapped in their native language ecosystem, making English feel like a distant, foreign island rather than their home. When you flip the switch on your device, you are essentially forcing your brain to survive and thrive in a 100% English-speaking digital territory without spending a penny on a plane ticket. Instead of the usual terms, you'll start instinctively understanding phrases like privacy and security, software update, or display and brightness through daily repetition. Think about using your favorite delivery or shopping apps. You'll learn practical vocabulary like track package, apply promo code, or estimated delivery, because you need these functions to work in your real life. I want you to go even further by making Google and YouTube your English-only research assistants. When you search for best travel destinations for 2026 or how to bake sourdough bread, you are training your mind to solve life's puzzles in English. This is where we stop being mere students and start becoming global citizens who treat English as our default operating system. By surrounding your digital self with English, you are ensuring that every notification and every scroll becomes a brick in the foundation of your future fluency. If you find yourself perfectly able to describe a fictional character's routine, but struggle to explain your own day, it's because you've been practicing someone else's life instead of yours. This gap between classroom English and your actual reality is exactly why we must adopt habit 5. Write 1 page in English every night. I've seen so many learners waste hours on robotic sentences like, "The book is on the desk," which holds zero emotional value to them. We need to build life grammar by turning our daily experiences into our own personal curriculum. Every night before bed, I want us to grab a notebook and answer 4 simple questions to anchor our thoughts. First, what did you actually do? Instead of the usual textbook examples, you might write, "I spent 3 hours finishing that complex report and then enjoyed a quiet walk in the park." Second, how did you feel? Perhaps you felt invigorated after your exercise or pensive while watching the rain. Third, what was your word of the day? If you discovered the word procrastinate, write a sentence that matters to you. I shouldn't procrastinate on my English goals. Finally, what is the plan for tomorrow? I will wake up early to try a new breakfast recipe and read 2 pages of my favorite book. By doing this, we aren't just writing, we are training our brains to feel and exist in English. When you look back at your day, do you see a list of dry grammar rules, or do you see a vibrant human story waiting to be told in English? Imagine having a world-class library and millions of personal tutors at your fingertips, yet choosing to only look at a tiny corner because you're afraid to step outside your comfort zone. This brings us to habit 6. Use English when searching for anything in life. We often waste the power of the internet by sticking to our native language. But I want us to start using our curiosity as our primary fuel for fluency. When you have a real problem to solve, your brain stops worrying about grammar and focuses entirely on the meaning. For instance, if you want to know how to repot a snake plant, or you're looking for beginner-friendly woodworking tips, search for them in English. You'll find yourself absorbing technical verbs like drainage, sand, or assemble, because they are keys to getting what you want in that moment. Or, if you're planning a weekend getaway, try searching for hidden gems in Japan instead of using your mother tongue. You are no longer just a student, you are a researcher using English as a professional tool to navigate the world. By shifting your queries, you turn every doubt into a discovery, and every search bar into a classroom. The moment you start asking the world questions in English, the world starts providing you with answers that stick forever. You can spend a lifetime collecting all the tools in the shed, but your project only truly begins the moment you step outside and start building in the open air. We often find comfort in our private study bubbles, but the transition to genuine fluency requires us to adopt habit 7. Speak English with the world one small step at a time. I want us to understand that we don't need a formal stage or a perfect accent to be heard. We just need the courage to leak our English out into the real world, bit by bit. By doing this, we move from being observers of the language to active participants in the global conversation. Instead of waiting for a high-stakes meeting, start with low-pressure interactions. For example, spend 3 minutes in front of the mirror explaining why a specific movie or book deeply moved you. This builds the physical connection between your eyes, your mind, and your mouth. Next, take your English digital by leaving a thoughtful review on a new coffee shop or a helpful photography tutorial. A simple, "Your tips on lighting really improved my photos," is a powerful victory. I also suggest using your phone to record a quick voice memo describing the energy of your favorite local market or the quiet beauty of a rainy afternoon. We aren't aiming for a flawless performance. We are simply training your confidence muscle to handle the vulnerability of being seen. By choosing to speak when you could stay silent, you are finally claiming your place in the vast, global English-speaking family. The ultimate barrier standing between you and the life of a fluent speaker isn't a lack of talent or a missing textbook, but the simple act of showing up when you feel like quitting. This leads us to our final, most vital pillar, habit 8. Never miss a day. I've realized that the greatest mistake we make is treating English like a seasonal project rather than our permanent identity. If we only practice when we are motivated, we will always be at the mercy of our moods. But when we decide that English is simply who we are, the struggle disappears. I'm not asking for hours of your time. I'm asking for a commitment to no 0 days. On your busiest days, when you are exhausted from work or family duties, just do one tiny thing. For instance, name 3 objects in your kitchen while your tea is brewing, or spend 60 seconds thinking about one thing you're grateful for in English before you touch your phone. These micro habits prove to your brain that English isn't a guest in your life, it's the host. Are you tired of feeling the sting of regret every time you realize another year has passed without progress? If you're ready to stop the cycle of starting tomorrow and finally see real results, hit that subscribe button right now and join us to elevate your skills every single day. Let's build your English identity together until the language feels as natural as your own name. By choosing to make English a non-negotiable part of your daily rhythm, you are finally giving yourself permission to become the person you've always dreamt of being.